Regards to one and all, this is Dr. Apoorva Srivastava from Faculty of Paramedical Sciences, Department of Physiotherapy, and here I am today for taking the lecture on World Health Organization, which we generally denote as WHO in general terms. First of all, before beginning with World Health Organization, I want to introduce you to the topic what actually World Health Organization means. World Health Organization is a agency governed by the United Nations, coming under United Nations, which works for the overall development of students, of the population, of the doctors and of the medical fraternity as well, and for the normal people also. World Health Organization is basically a topic which is usually covered under the subject of rehabilitation on medicine in Department of Physiotherapy. Why is rehabilitation necessary for physiotherapy students? As we can see, rehabilitation is the main aspect of any medicine which the medical fraternity applies onto the patients. While we are studying rehabilitation, it is very necessary for us to study the various components of rehabilitation. These components of rehabilitation could be A, preventive, they could be B, restorative, they could be C, curative, and they could be T, rehabilitative. Now, if we see, all the four aspects of rehabilitation are governed by separate medical fraternity departments and separate medico-legal aspects. What are medical legal aspects? As we all know, there is a single law which is applicable for all the population, for all the medical fraternity and for all the doctors. Likewise, at the international level, we have World Health Organization. World Health Organization basically governs each and every aspect which a doctor or a patient pertains to see within itself or towards the development of medicine. World Health Organization was first introduced in 1948. 1948 it was devised for the betterment of medical people, the betterment of doctors, the betterment of nutrition, the betterment of treatment providing, the betterment of medicine, and for the general knowledge awareness of common people. Likewise, we have heard in these recent scenarios that WHO has emerged as a very cooperative and a very institutional emittment. So basically, WHO is what? WHO is a international organization working under United Nations, as I said before, and the basic principle is to provide betterment for the medical fraternity, to provide treatment options to the people and population, and to serve them as general awareness programs. By general awareness program, I mean that while we were in COVID-19, WHO issued various guidelines. WHO was the main keystay for which we were which was a guiding institution for us while we were dealing with the COVID-19 virus at our homes. While we study about rehabilitation, it is very necessary to study WHO. WHO, we can say, is the main medico-legal aspect which governs the processes of rehabilitation and the members which are involved in the process of rehabilitation. WHO's first headquarters was established in Geneva in 1948. Basically, WHO was found because there were many illegal activities, practices prevalent in the field of medicine. For example, as we study the Nazi effect, we study what Hitler did to common people and to the prisoners of war. So it was very, very necessary to formulate a governing authority which will regulate not only the rights and fundamental policies for the doctors, but also the rights and fundamental policies for the patients as well. And WHO provides a firm base which we can follow as doctors, practitioners, and the patients to follow it for various guidelines, for issuing of various guidelines. Since we study rehabilitation, as I told you, in 4 aspects, WHO has its work in all the 4 aspects of rehabilitation. When we study about preventive medicine, in preventive medicine, WHO issues guidelines. WHO tells us about what we can do to prevent certain diseases, or what we cannot do to prevent any disease. Is the disease preventable? Is it not preventable? Is it communicable? Is it not communicable? These guidelines and these enmarkments are issued by World Health Organization. When we come to restorative medicine, WHO issues certain policies for various rehabilitation team members, which helps them to work towards restorative medicine. Curative medicine, as we all know, medical fraternity is governed by WHO and medical council, which abides by the laws made by WHO. So, curative medicine also in turn works in line with the issues, with the guidelines, with the policies, and with various entitlements issued by WHO. When we talk about rehabilitative medicine, rehabilitation in general is coming up of medical fraternity, coming up of doctors together to provide treatment option to people. It is not just medical treatment, it could be occupational therapy, it could be physiotherapy, it could be speech therapy, it could be various other therapies which in line with medical treatment go further with the development of rehabilitation. Why is rehabilitation an important aspect? Rehabilitation is why it is important, because WHO does not concern only to a single patient. If we talk about treatment of a single patient, WHO governs level of medical treatment provided to a single patient, as well as level of treatment providing to a whole community. When we talk about WHO is a very broad aspect and a very broad terminology, which comes with various legal aspects. So, if we say in short, WHO, World Health Organization, was founded in 1948 at Geneva with its 6 constitutional institutions worldwide. Right now, New Delhi in India also has World Health Organization office, which regulates the working of medical fraternity and healthcare fraternity in terms of India, in correlation with the medical fraternity of WHO and international doctors. World Health Organization not only prescribes and provides treatment to patients, but it also helps the doctors to pertain to a certain treatment aspect, or to get an information regarding any unknown or any idiopathic disease, which could be a recent case or which could be a case of coronavirus, as we saw in past years. Coronavirus was not known to anybody, but WHO, World Health Organization, underwent surveys. It went a very prospective aspect of surveys to gather knowledge about what actually coronavirus is and how WHO can issue its principles and guidelines for protection of patients from COVID-19. So, if we say that WHO is the main guiding authority for doctors and for patients, it wouldn't be wrong. Now, as we study on WHO has its collaboration with various other agencies. WHO can give you various enormities and uses of WHO, which we can elaborate in general. When we talk about uses of WHO, I would like to tell all of you that World Health Organization is not just useful for the doctors, but it is also useful for the patients. When we talk about uses, how can WHO provide any person or provide any patient with treatment facilities or something, until and unless it has various constituents of itself. So, WHO in general has some 5 to 6 or 12 to 13 as we say, now 12 to 13 agencies which run under WHO and which are governed by the laws issued by WHO. As you all know, United Nations is an independent authority. United Nations in general governs this WHO, which issues principles and guidelines for the betterment of people. But does this United Nations work all alone, or there are other agencies as well which help United Nations perform its function? The first name in this case is UNICEF. What is UNICEF? UNICEF is United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. This organization basically governs what the Children Emergency Fund means, what are the needs of children worldwide, internationally, and what are the major steps which can be taken towards the betterment of these children. These could be poverty struck children, these could be children with developmental disorders, these could be children with various malnutritions, these could be children with any of the natural disasters, hit by natural disasters. So, any authority which governs the betterment and which governs the treatment procedures as well as which works for the upliftment of children comes under United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. Next is UNDP. UNDP is basically United Nations Developmental Program. This is an organization which undertakes the values of development internationally and guides various countries that what are the developmental parameters which needs to be met by various countries in order to provide better life and better quality of life to their citizens. On number 3, we have FAO. FAO in general, Food and Agriculture Organization. Food and Agriculture Organization is a very important aspect which is governed by the WHO, or you say United Nations, because it governs the quality of food, the production of food, the management of food, the maintenance of food, and in line with everything, it also governs the management of farmers which grows food. For example, if we take in consideration about the quality, about the betterment of food quantity, then we are also in line governing the rights, the laws and the applications possible for agricultural people, agricultural personals like farmers. Next, we have various other agencies, for example, World Bank. We have various national and international NGOs, and so on. We have various other organizations which help United Nations and WHO to perform its functions. What are the basic functions of WHO? When we talk about the various functions of WHO, the first in line comes immunization. Immunization is a process in which the children and the various people are immunized against a particular disease or a subset of diseases. This immunization protocol or this immunization procedure is done for the betterment of people and to prevent them from diseases like measles, polio, rabies, etc. Why is WHO concerned with immunization? Immunization programs, immunization schemes are usually generally referred by WHO, and every country must abide by the issues and the guidelines issued by WHO for immunization of children, for immunization of people against various diseases. Next is helping people below poverty line. WHO has a serious concern towards people who come under below poverty line, and for them they issue various rights and various funds which can be helpful in guiding people that these are the laws, these are your rights which your country must give you or which your country must provide you with. Next, WHO helps in making policies. By policies here, we mean that various medical policies, various medical legal policies are made at the office of the World Health Organization, so that it governs not only the initial phases of the disease, the treatment of the disease, but the rehabilitative phase as well after the treatment of disease. As in cases, there are many diseases which have their after effects even after proper treatment. For example, PPRP. So, in these cases, WHO has the full authority of making policies, issuing guidelines of how can a doctor treat these diseases and how can we in general apply therapies to patients which are in line with these guidelines. Next, it helps reduce malnutrition. As I told you earlier, United Nations has an agency under it working as FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. So, it reduces malnutrition as it provides quality food to people, as it ensures that people get food and they do not get malnourished in line of in line with these treatment options available.